Hey guys, how's it going? I am so excited to bring you today's video. We are going to be doing a lot of gardening today. I've got to beat the heat that's about to happen. We're coming up on 109, which is not even our peak for summertime. So I've got to get my horde of plants taken care of today. I've got to get at least a couple things in the ground. It is currently very early in the morning and it is currently 80 degrees outside. So we're gonna get outside, but I just had a package come and I'm very excited to share it with you. So before we get into the garden, I wanna say a huge thank you to today's sponsor, Thrive Market. So if you're new here, I live in the middle of nowhere. The closest grocery store that actually has good, healthy, organic food is about 30 minutes away. And so finding healthy options for our family has kind of become a big chore, and it's been something that we've been slacking on. And that 30-minute drive adds up really quickly and takes away from our day. That is why I love Thrive Market. It lets us stock up on high quality grocery items and household items that I can't find locally, and I don't have to make that 30-minute drive to the grocery store without that premium price tag, and we don't ever have to actually leave the house. And we just got our latest Thrive Market order, so let's go ahead and open it up together. They've got all of our household staples, everything that we keep in our pantry, everything that we always run out of that we have a really hard time finding. Plus they have healthier snack options, cleaning products, and even items for our dogs who are already sniffing around because they know that this box means that they're gonna get a treat. And something that I think is really cool is that Thrive Market is the very first online market that accepts SNAP's EBT. And that means that millions of families across the United States have access to healthy organic food right to their doorstep, and that's a really big deal to me. So if you wanna check out Thrive Market, you can use the link in the description down below or go to thrivemarket.com/visitourgarden for 30% off plus a free gift with your first order. So a huge thank you to Thrive Market for sponsoring today's video. Now that I don't have to go to the grocery store for dinner tonight, let's go get in the garden. So I have a couple things that I would like to get done in the garden today. I've got some things that need to come out of the garden and then a couple things that need to go in the garden. I actually have a lot of things that need to go in the garden, but one thing that we're gonna focus on today. So I'm going to be taking out the lemon coral sedum. I just can't do it. So I'm taking out the lemon coral sedum today. It's time for them to hit the road. I'm not feeling it. I'm a little bit over it. And so I'm super over it. So I'm actually excited for them to get out of the garden, and I've got something new to go in their place that I'm excited about. I'm not gonna spend too much time working outside today, so this might be a little bit of a quick video just because it is really smoky out. We're having a lot of wildfires that have already started to happen, and so being outside is really not the safest right now. So we're gonna get done what we can get done today. So this corner bed has been kind of my least favorite of the garden bed. So that's kind of a bummer. It is one that's pretty prominent, you do see it, and so I want it to look a lot better than it does look. So we're gonna take out the lemon coral sedums right here. They're blooming again, and now they just look really like scraggly, and they don't look good at all. So those are coming out today. I have two dahlias here, those are coming out today. That one's full of spider mites, that one's full of spider mites, and then this dahlia is also coming out today, and I'm just going to assume it died from spider mites. So we are not keeping the dahlias. I don't want to winter over the tubers. I didn't even like these dahlias. I liked the photos that were presented to me on the package of the dahlias, and I think that one I started from seed, but they're just so ugly. So they're not for me, they're not for my garden. So we're gonna take it out, take out the lemon coral sedum, and then take out that dahlia. I will not be saving the dahlia tubers because I don't want to grow them. I don't want them growing in my garden. I don't enjoy them. And then I'm going to take out this obelisk that I have here. And okay, in this section here, I had a dahlia and I didn't love it. I didn't think it was pretty, but I was gonna just let it stay. And so what I am going to do is the tubers, I guess I didn't get all the tubers out and they've shot out some new growth. So I'm gonna put that little obelisk that I have and I'm gonna put it right here. We built the obelisk ourselves. And so I think it'll be kind of a nice little piece right here. I don't know. It'll match from this side over to this side right here. Yeah, and also I really hate this dahlia. I hate this orange dahlia. I think it's not the prettiest. I mean, it'll be pretty in like fall arrangements, but right now, like, I don't know. It's just not pretty. Maybe if I came through and deadheaded everything, but honestly, I just don't appreciate it. It's not the prettiest. I want to show you guys is my hibiscus. This is exciting. I've never been excited for a hibiscus. And this one, there are lots of blooms coming. They are turning yellow. Some of them are dropping off. I don't know if it's because we got so hot so fast, but there are some that are still green that are having a really good size. So I'm hoping that we get some blooms from this guy. We shall see. 110 degrees doesn't do well for a lot of plants, so we'll see what happens. And also these guys right here, these are the Agastache. These are the nectarine ones. I like them. I like Agastache a lot. I love that the hummingbirds love it, but these blooms are fresh blooms and they kind of look like dead blooms. So I don't know if it's the color. I just don't know if I'm an orange person in the garden. I tried to be, but I don't think I'm an orange person. And I really tried to be an orange person. There's orange, there's red. I don't know, I don't love it. And there's yellow yarrow. I don't love the yellow yarrow. I thought it was firefly peach, but it is firefly peach, but it's very yellow and then tinges of, I don't know, it's yellow and orange. And it's not like a pretty yellow, where I've got like a yellow yarrow over there that's a really bright yellow, and that one's really pretty. So I gotta go find my pop-up bag now and take care of that. Look at that view. Let's go find my pop-up bag. I found my pop-up bag. I'm so chatty today, so sorry. I think I figured out what I want to do in this area. So I've never had hydrangeas perform super well for me. They grow, they do like something, but they've never performed really well for me. This one I transplanted. I think this is little lime hydrangea. What if I lined this entire side and most of this side here with hydrangeas? Because look how well they did here for me. I've never had them do well for me. I mean, this isn't like the world's largest bloom, but I don't get big hydrangea blooms. This is huge for me, and it's so beautiful. Hydrangeas are so magical to me. So I was thinking, like, lining this side of the house with hydrangeas. I just think that that would be so beautiful, and I want to do it this fall time. I think that'd be so perfect. So now we can go take care of it now that I'm done chatting. One thing, because I am pulling out stuff with spider mites, I'm gonna be using my pruners. And I forgot to say this last time, make sure you disinfect your pruners. You can use alcohol in between anything that has spider mites so you don't transfer spider mites over to like a healthy plant. So I'm gonna be cutting these dahlias down with my pruners right here, and then I will go through and wash them, and I will wash my hands before I move on to anything else. Okay, I got my dahlias out. I got the lemon coral sedum out, and I got those dahlias out. And then I did put this plant stand here, and I'm sure I'm gonna get some questions. Robbie, that just had spider mites all over it, didn't it? Yes, it did. I sprayed it down with water, and then I sprayed it down with a pesticide to kill spider mites. I'm not going to talk about what I use because it'll make people angry. I do use pesticides that are targeted specifically for certain pests. So I used ones that were for spider mites. It's not organic. I'm not worried about it. So there should be no more spider mites on that. Now we need to go get a couple things planted. But before we go do that, I do want to say, I typically go the organic route. The organic route is usually hands down what I go for. But this year spider mites have been so bad, the worst that they have ever been on my property. I'm typically okay with them taking a couple things, but they are just taking over, and it's to the point where I no longer have control over it, or I can keep control on it. So I've had to switch to a non-organic route, and that is the only reason. I always try the water route first, and then I go with an organic, and I'm just losing things, then I will go non-organic, and it's worth it to me to spray a non-organic pesticide on there to keep my plants alive. Let's go ahead and get some things planted now. So what I would like to get planted today is two different types of plants. I've got these salvia right here. This is the Back to the Fuchsia salvia. I've got it in multiple spots in my garden. I love it. Turns out caterpillars also love it. So gonna have to keep an eye out for those guys. That's a wood chip. I do have caterpillars on pretty much all of my salvia, so I'm gonna have to do something about that. But I love the Back to the Fuchsia salvia. They get about 24 inches tall and about 22 inches wide. They are hardy in zones 3 through 8, but they come back for me every single year. I just love them. The hummingbirds love them. I think they are a must-have for the garden. I love the Back to the Fuchsia series. I think they're really, really pretty. They bloom really, really well, and they handle my hot, full sun here. I have them in a big drift too, which is really nice. And you do have to give them a shear back mid-season to get a second flush of blooms. And the next one that I want to plant are these Boom Chocolatta geraniums right here. So I have 5 of these guys. I've never grown them before. This is what they look like when they're in full bloom. A lot of you guys have said that they're really pretty in the garden. I saw them in one person's garden, didn't love it. I've seen it in a bunch of other people's gardens and videos, and I loved it. So this is gonna be kind of an experiment. So it says that they get about 26 inches tall and about 30 inches wide, hardy in zones 4 through 8. So we will see how these guys do for me also. And they also want full to partial sun. I'm gonna plant these where I just took out the sedum and the dahlias. So I'm gonna plant them closer to where I just took out the dahlias. And I liked the dark leaves on these. I thought that was really interesting, really pretty. And then look, they're starting to send out a flush of blooms again. And I could use some purple in that side of the garden. So I think that'll be perfect. So I have 5 of these salvia and I have 5 of these geraniums. And these guys are gonna be really happy to get out of their container. I can tell that they're starting to get really hungry. You can see some of the leaves are starting to turn a little bit more yellow. That one is the most abused, and I feel really guilty about it. These things need to be out of their cans. It's over 100 degrees. It's very hot. It's hot all day and all night here. We'll cool down into the mid to high 70s at nighttime, even sometimes into the 80s. So there's really not much of a reprieve for a lot of these plants. So in their cans, they really, really start to struggle pretty quickly. So once these guys get in the garden where there is some food for them, some fertilizer, and better regular on watering, they will totally bounce back. So these guys look mediocre. This one looks pretty bad. The geraniums look absolutely amazing for having to stay in their container so long. So I'm excited to get these guys in the garden. The geraniums are gonna go here. I'm gonna do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So they'll kind of fill out this little section right here, which will be nice. I'm not loving the yarrow either. They're looking a little bit drab. I know I'm gonna have to spray for spider mites in this bed, especially because of how infested this dahlia was that was right here. So I'm sure that there are spider mites on the petunias I've got in there. I'm sure they're in the yarrow. I know that they're on this plant. I can't remember what this plant is called. I saw them on the one that's on the other side. So I know that they're there on these plants. So I'm sure they're also in my yarrow, which is kind of a bummer. Anyways, those will look really, really good there. And then the salvia is gonna get planted on this side where I pulled out this other dahlia. So they will go in right here. And I've got 5 of them, and I'm gonna do all 5 in kind of like a really tight, big cluster. So it'll kind of match this side over here with the back to the Fuchsia salvia also. So it'll actually kind of like continue the drift. So it'll go a big drift and then it'll end in kind of like a big like grouping right here. I think that that'll be really pretty. And I kind of want to show you guys something that the spider mites have done and why we have decided to move to using something that is not organic anymore. I am absolutely terrified that we are going to lose this plant, which sucks because this was like a $200 and I want to say it was like $250. So it's absolutely heartbreaking, and that's why I have zero guilt about not using an organic pesticide in my garden right now to get rid of these guys. So we know that they've taken out my dahlias this year, and they're starting to take out a lot of other things in the garden. They're starting to take out these helianthus that I have here, but the reason that I ended up switching was because they started to take out my magnolia tree. And so it's just been absolutely heartbreaking. So we've been spraying it with something that's not organic, and I'm coming through every single night and I'm spraying it down with water also to helpfully keep it so it's like humid. Spider mites don't like wet, but what happens is the spider mites come through and they suck the sap out of the leaves, and so you really can't tell until it's almost too late. And so these got the sap sucked out of them, and then it can't photosynthesize, and then when they can't photosynthesize, then all of a sudden the leaves turn crispy and they die because there's nothing left for them to be able to do. So this is what has happened because of the spider mites, and you can see even new leaves that have emerged right here are starting to get that yellow, like the I don't know, like the stippling on it or whatever, and it's all because of the spider mites. So it's fighting, it's trying to push new growth, so I'm trying to make sure that all of my new growth stays really, really healthy. So once I noticed a $250 tree, or a $200 tree, I can't quite remember how much I paid for it, but it was a couple $100. I decided it's no longer worth it to just mess around with trying to control them. They're going to start taking big ticket items out of my garden, and that's when it's just no longer worth it, I don't think. I'm not trying to like overly explain it, but I do want to, I guess, explain my reasoning behind not going organic, or just not worrying about it, because some years I just don't even worry about it. I'm like, oh, yep, they took that plant, it's theirs. That is just Mother Nature doing its thing. That's usually my approach to a lot of things. Is like, that one's got aphids, it'll be fine if I lose that one plant to aphids, or I'll just go try to knock off as many aphids as I can. But big ticket items, that's when that's my hard line that I draw. So let's go ahead and get these guys planted now. Robbie, shut up. Chatty Cathy today. All right, I think those are going to be way better than that dahlia anyways. Granted, it's not going to be the height that I wanted. I did want some height, so that way when you're in this little room, there's some privacy. So I did plant dahlias in all 4 corners, and I've since taken out 3 of the corners of dahlias. All we have left is that corner, and that may come out if we're being completely honest, which is fine. It's okay to change plans, but I think the Boom Chocolatta geraniums are going to be really pretty there. I'm hoping they kind of cascade over the edge just a little bit. I know that they'll have a more round habit, but I think it'll be fine. And then the salvia. I am never mad at a salvia. I don't think you can ever go wrong adding salvia into your garden, so I am excited for these ones. I just always think they're so pretty, and the hummingbirds love them, the bees love them, and they bloom so much as a perennial for me, which is really, really nice. So I do think that they're totally worth it. And then the yarrow, I'm going to keep an eye on it. I definitely saw spider mite damage. If it gets worse, I'm just going to take it out, and I think that's just going to be that on that yarrow. So I'm going to go inside now. I am a sweaty mess. It is way too hot for me and way too hot for the dog. She is panting, and it's way too humid. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you guys so much for visiting our garden and hanging out with me today. Oh, there was a little bit of a breeze. Anyways, thanks for visiting, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye, guys.